Yeah, good evening, everybody. Hope you are able to see the screen. I'm already sharing the screen and
Yeah,
hope you are able to get my voice also. So one of you please confirm in the chat box that you are
so
able to
you're
see the
audible.
screen. Yeah, good evening, Simran. Varun says yes, Aisha, perfect. Santosh giving me thumbs up. Okay, right. Okay. Today's topic, as you all see, it is ratio and proportion. Very important topic. Okay, couple of topics will become the base of arithmetic, like number system, ratio, proportion, percentages. Okay, so some of the topics it can be combined with other chapters of arithmetic. Okay, these can be combined with other chapters. For example, ratio can be given in mensuration, like so length and breadth are in the ratio, say 3:4. Okay, so anywhere ratios can come in partnership also, say A is to be invested, okay, in the ratio 3:4. So ratio can be brought in any of the chapters of arithmetic. Okay, so similarly percentages chapter also. So today we will deal with ratio proportion and we'll try and understand. Okay, this is bit lengthy chapter. Maybe okay. So let's see how it goes. So generally it requires 2 days to cover all aspects of ratio and proportion. Okay, different models will be there. We have to try all the models. Okay, so let's begin like this first. So let's understand what is a ratio first. A ratio is a comparison of two or more numbers in the same units. So you should understand this word same units. So I can compare kilogram to kilogram, or I can compare kilometer to kilometer. I can compare, okay, rupees to rupees, like that. Same units. Units have to be same. Okay, so I cannot compare grams with kilograms or meters with kilometers. Okay, so units have to be same and it indicates the sizes in the relation to each other. So it is written as A is to B, or in fraction format you can write it as A by B, and it is spelled as A is to B. So say for example, panda, how many of them are there? Four of them are there. And if you are look at minion, minion are, how many of them are? Three of them. So what is the ratio? 4:3. Okay, so we are basically comparing, okay, panda to, they are in the ratio 4:3. And ratio can be multiplied or it can be divided also. So that part we will come to that. A, a ratio compares two quantities by division with the numerator termed as antecedent and the denominator termed as consequent. So A is to B. A is called antecedent. Just vocabulary, knowing what it is, and B is consequent. And you can also write this in the format A by B. So 4:3. Okay, so you can also, both the terms can be multiplied without affecting the ratio. Both the terms can be multiplied without affecting the ratio. So 4:3. So right side also you see 4:3. Now again I add 4 and again I add 3. So here it is 8:6. As far as ratio is concerned, it is okay. So please, ratio is always in the least terms. You should express ratio in the least terms. One of them may be prime number so that further division is not possible. Further division is not possible. The ratio is generally expressed as, okay, in the least terms. Say for example, okay, 6:8. I can also say if I multiply this by 2, both the terms, if I multiply 2 6 are 12, 2 8s are 16. This is multiplication. Both the terms can also be divided, 2 3s are 2 4s are. But whenever you say ratio, you should always express it in the least term so that further division is not possible. So here 12:6 is same as 6:8 is same as 3:4 as far as the ratio is concerned. Okay, so ratio, physical numbers may be different, but when you divide it and make it in least terms, that becomes the ratio. So To convert ratio ABC into fractions, you add up A plus B plus C, that is denominator. And what fraction A will get is A by A plus. Similarly, B and C. Okay, so if you are dividing rupees 1000, okay, so if I am dividing rupees 2000, say 1000 rupees between A, B, C. So A gets say 200, B gets 300, say C gets 500. Okay, if I have to find out what is the fraction or what is that A is going to get in terms of a fraction, I will add up. So if I add up, what it will be 1000, 1000 say 2. So which is equal to 1/5. Okay, so what I did, I am actually adding and putting all of them in the denominator, and whatever, if I want to calculate for A, I'll put A value in the numerator. Okay, so 1/5. So similarly, it is, I can find out the percentage also. So in the previous example, if I multiplied by 100, okay, so if I multiply by 100, it is 20%. Okay, out of 1000, okay, so A gets 20%, B gets 30%, and C gets 50%. Say if I have to divide entire 100% into A, B, C. Okay, so based on the values, A gets 20%, B gets 30%, and C gets 50%. Now you see total is 100%. Okay, so I can also convert this into percentages by multiplying by 100. Okay, so try to solve this problem and tell me. 35,000 between Bhanu, Aditya. Find the share of Aditya. So quickly try to answer it.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, some of you are giving me the answer. Simran, Aisha gave 15,000, Simran 15, Varun, Asifia 20, Aisha 20. Huh, how come it is some of you 15,000, some of you 20,000?
Sir, it is 20,000 because of Aditya.
Okay, okay. So So from the exam perspective, you should be careful, huh? Okay. So don't think by default only the first person you have to calculate. Say 35,000 between Bhanu and Aditya, they are in the ratio. Bhanu is 3 units and Aditya is 4 units. Say they are in the ratio, say 3 is to 4. And find the share of Aditya. So basically, how do you do this? Say out of every 7 parts, Aditya will get 4. Out of every 7 parts, Banu will get 3 units. So this is how, okay, different ways of thinking. I don't know how you are thinking. As long as you are getting the right answer, probably you are thinking right. So one way of thinking is how many units? 3 plus 4 is 7 units. How did I get 7? 3 plus 4, 7. So assuming that, okay, so 3 plus 4 is 7 units. Out of every 7 units, Aditya gets 4. Out of every 7 units, Bhanu gets 3. This is one way of thinking. What is the other way of thinking? So let Bhanu gets 3x units and say 4x units. Okay, so because this is only a ratio, 3 is to 4 is a ratio. I don't know exactly what is that they are going to get, So I'm assuming that he gets 3 times X and Aditya 4 times X. So now, what is the total if I have to add up both Aditya and Banu? It is 7x. And now I can equate 7x to 35,000 because the right side is also total, or we are dividing 35,000 between Banu and Aditya. 7x is also total, which is divided in terms of Banu and Aditya, 3x and 4x. So my x is equal to 5,000. If my x is equal to 5,000, now be careful. You have to find out for Aditya, and Aditya is 4x. So what is Aditya's share? 4x. So that means it is 20,000. So similarly, if I continue like this here, so out of 7 units, okay, Banu gets 3. Out of every 7 units, Aditya. But what is that total amount? I have to distribute 35,000. If it is 7 units, he gets 4. Out of 35,000, how much? 7 will go 5,000. So 4 into 5,000, which is 20,000. So whichever way you are thinking, so any of the ways you can think and get the answer. Any of the ways you can think and get the answer. Whichever is easy for you to comprehend, understand. Okay, so remember and follow that procedure. So let's say it is 3x, 4x. So total is 7x. 7x is equated to 35,000. You get x value, then 4x. So similarly, out of every 7 parts, Banu gets 3. Or out of every 7 shares, Banu gets 3 shares. Aditya will get 4 shares. So you can also put this in the in terms of cross multiplication. If my 7 units is equated to 35,000, what is 7 units? 3 plus 4. Total number of shares here are 7 shares. That is equated to 35,000. Banu's share is how much? If 7 is 35,000, 4 is how much? So cross multiply to get the answer. 4 into 35,000 divided by 7. So 7 will go 5 times. So 5 into 4, 20,000. So there are many ways. Okay. So how the logic is working, how to distribute it. So different ways of thinking. So whichever way you understand it, you can follow that. Okay. So let's try another one. An amount divided between Ash and Amit is 3 is to 4. Amit received 4,000. Then find the share of Yash. Yeah. Simran, Santosh Pawan, Karthik. Karthik, check your answer. Harish, Aisha, Vaishnavi, Sifia. Perfect, perfect. You are able to think right. You are able to think right. Say two people are there. One is Yash, the other is Amit. Okay, it is the ratio is 3 is to 4. It is only a ratio, not the physical amount of money. So Amit is receiving 4,000. Amit is receiving 4,000. Simple logic, if from 4, if I have to go to 4,000 multiplied by 1,000. And if I'm multiplying by 1,000, I should multiply both the terms. Please understand, not only one term, I should multiply both the terms. So this will be how much? 3,000. So that is yes. Different ways. If 4 is treated as, say, 4,000, and 3 will be treated as what? 3,000. So we are equating Amit. Amit is say 4 units. Amit is 4,000. So if you want to treat it in X also, you can treat it. Say Amit and Yash, say this is 3x, this is 4x. If 4x is equal to 4000, because Amit is equated to Amit, this is also Amit, this is also Amit. If 4x is equal to 4000, x value is 1000. If x value is 1000, what will be, okay? Yash. Yash is equal to 3, is equal to 3000. Okay? So let's go forward. Try this one. An amount divided between Bhuvan and Rohan in the ratio, difference between the amount received by Rohan and Bhuvan is 10,000, then what is the total amount? Different variations. If you understand the concept, now you can easily do the variations or handle the variations. Yeah, Simran says 70,000. How about others? Santosh Pawan 70K. Ability to comprehend, understand the question. Without any ambiguity, you need to understand the question. Harish 70K. Aisha. Sifya. Nice. So Bhuvan and Rohan ratio is 3 is to 4. So sometimes you can also think let this be 3x, 4x. This is only ratio. So let the amounts be 3x and 4x. Now, difference, this word is very important. Difference between the amount of Rohan and Bhuvan. Okay, what is the difference here? So if I am looking at the difference is x, plain simple difference. There is nothing like minus x here. Okay, so just the difference between two of them is x. X is equated to 10,000. The difference is 10,000. Then what is the total amount? So from this, if I have to do the total, so what will be the total here? 7x. So what will be my 7x? My 7x equals 70,000. Yeah, different ways of, okay, so whichever way you are doing, that is absolutely fine as long as you are confident about it and getting the right answer. So see if you can make some improvement and reduce the number of steps. So one word of caution, all of you are, okay, encouraged by all the maths teachers, okay, to write more number of steps. Please understand this. As a human being, right from my third, fourth, fifth class, all my maths teacher encouraged me to write more number of steps. And the logic they gave is even if you get the calculation wrong, okay, some error you make while calculating, okay, still you are given marks for your steps or for the approach you have to solve the problem. So steps used to carry marks when it is okay. So evaluated for 8 marks, 10 marks, 12 marks. Okay, so even the steps carried marks. So in our system, because year after year, year after year, year after year, all your academic exams, you are okay, you are habituated to write more number of steps. So now suddenly when you start taking competitive exams, when it is only 20 questions, 20 minutes or 30 questions, 30 minutes, so more number of steps, writing more number of steps will not work in your favor. Okay. Consciously, you have to reduce the number of steps. Consciously, you have to reduce the number of steps. Why? Because writing takes more time. So you have to start thinking more and start writing less. And one more thing, all the class teachers would have also encouraged you to be legible. What is legible? Neat handwriting. Okay, so if you write, everybody should be able to understand what you are writing. So importance is given for neatness, okay, maintaining good classwork and all that. So from the competitive perspective again, okay, so this tidiness, neatness, okay, so may not work in your favor. You have to use very little space to do the calculations and get the answer. Sometimes you will scribble. Okay, so sometimes you write, okay, so half the problem you are thinking and then writing only the third step, finally fourth step and get the answer. So first two steps you are not writing. So unless you practice now, you will not be able to attempt more number of questions. So consciously reduce the number of steps. Think more, write less. Okay, so you can actually do that. Okay, so week after week, you can only check or 3 days, okay, 4 days. So pick up any chapter and solve 10 questions. Pick up any chapter, solve 10 questions and count each step. Entire 10 questions. Okay, so you might have done it in say 60 steps. So 10 questions, okay, took how many steps for you? 60 steps. On an average, you are taking 6 steps to solve one question. This is on an average. So calculate like this. Now, definitely 6 steps for one question is not in your favor. So consciously now, okay, so give some time, 3 days, 4 days gap. Now attempt any 10 questions from any of the chapters. Count all the number of chips. So now probably it has come down to 50 because you are consciously working on it. Okay.
Yakinu.
Maximum. Okay. So for 10 questions, you should be taking in between 20-25 steps, not more than that.
నిన్న పోలే ఫస్ట్ అది ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ కి నలుగురం పోలే.
This will give you, okay, so this will give you confidence once you reach less than 30 10 questions and you are able to do it in less than 30 steps. Okay, go by the average, don't go by single question. Okay, only pick up 10 questions and start solving them and count how many within how many steps you are able to get the answers. Less than 30 is a good number. Anything between 20-25 is great. Okay, so let's go forward now. Try this one. Consciously try and reduce the number of steps. Yeah, I'm able to get nice. Okay, so starting with Varshini, then Varun, Santosh, Aisha, Vaishnavi, Simran, all of you are able to get the right answer. Okay, so consciously, if you have to reduce the number of steps. Okay, so how do you do this question? Let me write it. So because this is already given, I'm not writing it again such that sum of their squares. So first I am writing 3x, 4x, 5x. 3 is to 4 is to 5 is only a ratio. I don't know the exact value, so let that be 3x, 4x, 5x. Okay, so what is the next step? Sum of their squares. So first I have to do the squares and then make a sum. Squares and make a sum, and which is equal to 200. Right? So now straight away I will write 9x square plus 16x square plus 25x square is equal to 200. No, this is mental calculation now. 25 plus 25 is 50x square, which is equal to 200. So 50 will go 4 times, x square is 4, x is equal to 2. So once I get x is equal to 2, what is that? I have to find out middle number. My middle number is 4x. Okay, so what will be my answer then? My answer will be 8. Hope everybody is able to understand. 3 is to 4 is to 5 is only a ratio. I don't know the actual numbers. So let that be 3x, 4x, 5x. So two things are there. One is making a sum and then squares also. So squares plus sum equals 200. So quickly square up and make a sum and get the x value. Middle number is 4x. So that will be your answer. Okay, so now look at this. If A is to B is 3 is to 7, B is to C is 7 is to B 7 is to 5, then find ABC. Again, some students are fully aware how to do it, but some of you may need some help to, okay. So what is A is to B is to C? When A is to B is given, B is to C. Okay, so Simran started answering it, 3 is to 7 is to 5. Yeah, Aisha confirms it, 3 is to 7 is to 5. Harish, Asfiya. Yeah, most of you are getting the same. So here, some students may have a doubt like first you will write A is to B, which is 3 is to 7. Agree up to this point? Next, B is to C is there. So B is to C. Okay, B is to C is 7 is to 5. So my objective will always be middle number. B is common with A, B is also common with C. If it has the same number, if it is same number, I can simply say it is 3 is to 7 is to 5. I can simply say because if I go back and check what is A is to B, 3 is to 7. What is B is to, okay, 7 is to 5. So tally it down. So 3 is to 7 is to 5. But in all cases, it will not be same. Now try the next question. A is to B, B is to C, then find A is to B is to C. So now for the next question, Aisha, Simran, Naureen, then Varun. So all answers are same. Others also please try. A is to B, B is to C, then find A is to B is to C. Same thing. Again, you will write A is to B, which is 3 is to 7. And B is to C. So I'm just adding C here. But if I look at this ratio is 2 is to 5. Now I have a challenge. Okay, B is common with A, B is common with C, but it has two values. So how to make it same? So multiply this by 2, multiply this by 7. So that I get 14, okay, for P. 2 3s are 6. 2 into 7, which is 14. I am multiplying both the terms of the ratio. 3 is multiplied, 7 is multiplied. Again, both the terms of the ratio. 7 into 2, 14, which is already there. And 7 into 5, 35. So what will be our answer? 6 is to 14 is to 35. So please be careful. I can also, okay, get A is to B, B is to C, C is to D, D is to E also we can. The logic is same. You keep, okay, making the whatever is common, okay, giving a same number. So this, you can extend this logic. Sometimes in the exam, they might also ask giving A is to B, B is to C, C is to D, D is to E. Finally, they might ask what is A is to E. Okay, so the logic remains same. Okay, so comparison of ratios. Company X has a profit to revenue ratio 1 is to 8. This question requires logical thinking. Company Y has a ratio 1 is to 10. Profit to revenue. If my revenue is 8 units, out of which I get 1 unit as my profit. Revenue is same as total turnover of the company. And company Y has a ratio 1 is to 10. Okay, which company is more profitable? Assuming revenue is same for both the companies. Assuming revenue is same for both the companies, which company is more profitable? Yeah, Aisha Sultana, Harish, Simran says X, that's fine. Or A choice. Karthik, give A is to B is to C. Yeah, 1 is to 8, I understand, but normally you should give either A or a B or a C or a D. And Naureen says, yay, Simran, A, perfect. Okay. So different ways of looking at okay, profit to revenue ratio. So if my revenue is 8 units, okay, this is for X. Say Y is 1 by 10. So revenue is 10, 1 is my profit. Say it has, assuming revenue is same for both the company. Let's take a common multiple. Okay, so revenue is same. Say let's multiply, say 80 units is the revenue, 80 units is the revenue for both of them because it should be same. And why I have chosen 80? Because it's multiple of both 8 and 10. Okay, least common multiple will be 40. We are not talking about LCM, we are just talking about a multiple. So this will give you how much? So X is getting how many units as profit? So profit here is 10 units. And 10 will go how many times? 8 times. Y will get profit of how much? 8 units. So which is having more profits? Company X is having more profits. Logical thinking. Okay. A compound ratio or mixed ratio is formed By multiplying two or more simple ratios term-wise, combining their antecedents, the first terms, and consequence. Okay, for the ratio A is to B and C is to D, the compound ratio is. So if you are writing in the form of A by B and say C by D, what is compound ratio here? You are multiplying the antecedents, you are multiplying the cons. Okay, so AC is BD. Different terminologies will be there. We are now talking about a compound ratio. What is compound ratio? Multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. The compound ratio for 2:3. So this example, if you see, okay, so if I are looking at this example, so 2 by 3 into 4 by 5. So what will be your answer? 8 by 15. You are multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. So let's try for this question now. What is the compound ratio for 3:2, 4:9, 6:5 and 10:18? Compound ratio. Yeah, perfect. When you write it in the form of 1 by 1, it is equal to 1. Now, you can also write it in the term of a fraction. Both are right. 1:1 is right and 1 is also right. Good that you are able to get it. So simple logic now. What is compound ratio? Numerator into numerator into numerator divided by denominator into denominator into denominator. Like that you will do. So this is compound ratio. If you have to find out compound ratio, 3 by 2, 4 by 9, multiplied by 6 by 5, multiplied by 10 by 8. So whatever you get, that will be your answer. Say 2 will go 2 times here and 2 will go how many times? 4 times. Again 2 will go 2 times here, 2 will go 3 times, 2 will go 5 times, 5 and 5 gets cancelled. So 3 will go 3 times here and there is a numerator 3. I can cancel this 3 and this 3. Write 1. Okay, so it is same as 1 by 1 or okay, depending on what choices you get, either it is equal to 1 or you can say 1:1 also. Answer is 1. A, B, C, D choices, choose the right one. Okay, so this terminology is very, very important. Sometimes if you get this as a question, you can score marks within no time. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. If you know the terminology, you will score marks. Duplicate ratio is just squaring. Duplicate ratio is whatever ratio is given, you square it, it becomes duplicate. What is triplicate? Okay, cubes. A is to B is the ratio. Triplicate will be A cube is to B cube. And what is subduplicate ratio? Root of A, root of B. What is subtriplicate? Cube root of A, cube root of B. So let's understand by example. 2:3 is the ratio. What is duplicate? 4:9. Triplicate, cube it. 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27. Subduplicate, 9:25. So you are taking a square root of 9, which is 3, square root of 25, which is 5. Subtriplicate ratio, 64:125. So cube root of 64 is 4. Cube root of 125 is 5. So getting the terminology, okay, so till you get it, you should, okay, know it, okay. So daily have a look at it for next 3 days so that you don't forget. Just getting the terminology. If you don't know the terminology in the exam, you go blank. Or I don't know what is subtriplicate. Subtriplicate is nothing but finding the cube roots. Okay. So these are the things which will help you to score more marks than others. Just by knowing the terminology. You don't have to do much also here. Only thing is be sure about what is the terminology here. Okay, what is proportion? The equality of two ratios is called proportion. If I write A is to B is same as can also be written as, okay, either I write as is equal to or I put two colons. Side by side, two colons is same as. Okay, so then we say A, B, C, D on proportion, it is indicated A is to B same as C is to D, or I put equality symbol. So A is to B equals C is to D. And please remember, I can write this in the form A by B, C by D. Don't get confused with compound ratio. Now, if I cross multiply, most of you know, either you remember AD equals BC or some students remember BC equals AD. Whichever, both are same, no? Left side, right side, LHS equals RHS. You might remember AD equals BC, or some of you might remember BC equals AD. You are just cross multiplying here. Okay, so it is not same as compound ratio. Compound ratio, numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. That is compound ratio. So proportion, you do cross multiplication. A and D are called extremes. A and D are called what? Extremes. And B and C are called means. And A, B, C, D are first, second, third, fourth terms. So sum of it, okay, so sometimes it is product of extremes equals product of means. Product of extremes equals product of means. AD equals BC. Product of extremes equals product of means. Classification of proportions, continued proportion. Compound ratio is different, continued proportion is different. Mean proportion, third, fourth, direct, inverse. So let's talk one by one. What is continued proportion? If A, B, C are in continued proportion, then it is written like this. A by B equals B by C. So A is to B is B is to C. So continued, whatever B value is there, you are carrying it forward. So it is something like A by B equals B by C. So B both are same. Otherwise, you can also say B square is equal to root AC. B is called mean proportional. Okay, what is mean proportion? B square is equal to AC. Oh, okay. So here if you are, so B square is AC. And what is B here? Root AC. Oh, so this is continued proportion. So third and fourth proportional. So A, B, C, D. A is first, B second, C third, and D fourth. D is the fourth, C is the third. Okay, so now let's do one question based on continued proportion. What should be subtracted from each of the numbers 51, 63, 78, and it is continued. So first I am writing this as 51 and 63 will become one unit. Either I can write it in this format 51 is to 63. Now it is again continued means the B will get repeated. Okay, 63, 78, or I can write 63 is to 78. So he says, what is that I have to subtract so that it is in continued proportion. I cannot cancel it out. Okay, so find a number where I can subtract. So here substitution is the best method. Substitution, pick up a choice and try whether it is in continued proportion. So try A, try B, try C, try D, and quickly try to get the answer. Yeah, Simran says B choice. Asifia is giving the answer, which is 3. So basically, mentally, I am thinking, okay, so having written like this, mentally, if I am thinking -1, this will become 50 by 62. And here 62 by 77. Okay, 62 by 77, any cancellation possible? 62, 77, nothing, na? So D cannot be my answer. So here it is 49 and 61. 61 here, 76 here. Again, 61 and 78 cancellation not possible. So let's try 3. 51 is 48 and -3 is 60. So both are even numbers. I can cancel it out. 63 minus 3 is 60. Okay, both continued proportion, both are 60, 60. And 78 minus 3, 75. So 5 is a common factor here. Now if I look at it, 12 will go 4 times, 12 will go 5 times. And 15 will go 4 times, 15 will go 4 times. So my LHS equals RHS. So that means they are in continued proportion. What is the answer? B choice. So if I subtract 3, it will become continued proportion. So let's little go forward now. Try this one. What is the mean proportion? B square equals AC. That is mean proportion. B is root of AC. So put the question number and your answer. Put the question number and your answer. 10, 11, 12. So similarly, you have to find out the third proportion and the fourth proportion also. You people are giving the answers. What is the mean proportion of 4 and 36? Mean proportion of 4 and 36. So you know mean proportion is B square AC or B is equal to root AC. So here you are saying 4 into 36. So this is same as under root now. So for 4 root is 2, for 6. So what is your answer now? Okay, 12. So this will be your answer. What is the third proportion? 8 is to 4 is same as, or I can put is equal to also is same as. Okay, third proportion. So third, I don't know. He's asking the third proportion. So what will be my answer? Understand this. 8 and 4. Okay, 4 is 12 here. So Double is 8. So what will be here? Logically, if I have to substitute, I will say it is 24 is to 12, 8 is to 4. That is 2 is to 1 this side and 2 is to 1 that side. So what is my answer? D choice. And similarly, what is the fourth proportion? 14 is to 2. Fourth proportion, there you will put x. Question is fourth. So first, second, third, fourth. Fourth is x. Now understand the relation 2 multiplied by 7. Okay, so what should be the number here? So that if I multiply it by 7, it will give me 20. So 2 multiplied by 7 is giving me. So what should be the number here so that I get 21 when multiplied by 7? 7 threes are 21. So what is my answer? D3. Okay, so we will stop here. Monday we will continue because models are there in this ratio and proportion chapter. So Monday I will share the paper with you. So have a good weekend, and wherever possible, if you have a book, start practicing. If you have websites, YouTube channels, start practicing. So you can leave the call now.